My name is Laura, and this is Laura Folly at Home. And I'm so excited that I'm going to be bringing to you a series of 7 episodes about preparing for whatever may be. We're going to cover things about why preparing. We're going to talk about food storage, staples, medical supplies, paper goods, skills that you need, weather, and additional benefits. That's just highlights of some of the things that we're going to be covering over the next 7 episodes. And this is episode 1. So, if this is something you're interested in, you want to make sure you catch them all, hit that subscribe button, like, and share, and let's get this started. I'd really appreciate it. My channel could use it. The importance of being prepared for hard times. Our first episode is why. What is your why? My why is experience with weather issues and not having been prepared for it. Back in 2001, we got hit, tropical storm Allison came through. We lost everything. We lived in a new mobile home at the time, and it was 4 feet off the ground, and we had 18 inches of water inside. We lost everything. We didn't have any money saved. We didn't have cash on hand. I mean, all of Houston flooded, okay? We didn't have cash on hand. We didn't have electricity. We didn't have clean drinking water. We didn't have a way to prepare food. And we were stranded. We got rescued out of a window into a boat. Lived in a motel for 3 weeks until I found a rental home on the other side of town. That's in 2001. Harvey came through about 8 years ago. Tropical Storm Harvey, or may have been a hurricane. I don't think it was a hurricane. Came through about 8 years ago. We didn't get water in the house, but we were trapped in the house for 3 days because there was water outside. My neighbors got water. That's why I call this my mansion on the hill, because we didn't get any water inside. It was this close. It was close. Okay? My mother-in-law has been in situations with weather storms, flooding. She had a hurricane came through, and a whole tree fell, and it went through her roof, 2nd story, and through the foyer in the downstairs. So the whole limb just came straight through, still attached to the tree. You don't know, okay? Just last year, last May, had a tornado come through, almost a direct hit on the house. Over $80,000 worth of damages, no electricity for days on end. I think we were without 5 or 6 days without electricity. But I had started preparing, okay? I had started preparing a few years ago, just to be on the safe side, and I was able to make coffee. I have a gas stove, so I was able to cook, and I had some foods that I could warm up. All right, but didn't have a generator or anything like that. So that's my why, because I was able to survive. Okay, here, 6 weeks later, Hurricane Beryl came through. We were without electricity again for days, and again, I was able to cook some foods because I had some shelf-stable foods. I was able to cook some of the foods that was in the freezer because I have a gas stove. I have canned stuff that I had pressure canned and put up, and I was prepared. We had bottled water. I could make coffee. And that's critical, right? That's critical. That's my why. I live outside of Houston, Texas, literally outside of Houston. It's just a suburb, and it's on the coast. We get hurricanes in the Gulf. Galveston gets hit with hurricanes. Okay, so why prepare? That's my why. But there are emergencies, natural disasters. Hello. I could put it on my resume, how to survive a natural disaster. Job loss. We're not guaranteed anything. You know, the company I work for is going through a sale process. I'm not guaranteed my job tomorrow. Okay? And, you know, like most of us, we need a two-income household. You know, we need the two incomes. Well, if either my husband or myself should lose our job, I at least have food on the shelf. I have medical supplies. I have paper goods to get by for several months that it would take. Okay? Pandemics. We all know about pandemics. Do I really need to go into it? I don't think so. But all these little things are emergencies that if we're prepared, we're not going to have the panic. It's going to offer us peace of mind, safety, and comfort. Okay? Got all kinds of things that I can fix. You know, a couple of the other things that, why prepare? There's health emergencies, you know. I'm getting older. I have to have cataract surgery. I got arthritis in my hip that's been giving me fits this week and hurting all the way down my leg. You know, my husband, a couple of years in a row, he's had to have some sort of shoulder surgery. We're getting older. Arthritis, bone on bone. You know, puts him out of work. He doesn't get sick time. I do. But if he's out of work for several weeks recovering from a surgery, that's loss of income. Something just as simple as that. There is economic downturns. We all know about the economy right now. We all know inflation. We all know how much a dozen of eggs is. We all know how much a gallon of milk is and the cost of hamburger. Okay? It's affecting every single one of us. If you are prepared, you can buy things when they're on sale or when they're cheaper, and you're saving money. Okay? Political instability. We don't know the extent of how the tariffs are going to affect our prices. It's my thought that it's going to get a little bit worse before it gets better. I think things will be a little bit better in 2026 because of the tariffs, you know. But I'm not a political scientist. I don't know about all that. Okay, supply chain disruptions. We all know about that. Look at what happened during the pandemic. Okay. Shelves getting empty. Yeah, we're just never guaranteed, y'all. You know. On my list here, it talks about cybersecurity. Data breaches or cyber attacks can impact personal privacy, finances, or business operations. Have you ever been scammed? Has your debit card ever been bogusly used? And have you had to have it replaced? I have several times at a gas station. I put my debit card in there, filled up my car, and next thing I know, 2 or 3 people have come behind me, somehow cloned my card and used it. It's happened. Okay? That's money out of my pocket. That's money that I need to survive. You know? And if the bank don't refund it within a certain amount of time and I don't have groceries, what am I going to do? I have groceries. Okay? Family changes. They have on here, marriage, divorce, or the addition of children can bring unexpected challenges and require new plans. Well, I have pretty stable in the family situation, but what if my children, my grown son, single dad, what if he loses his job? Him and my granddaughter will probably have to move in. Well, that's going to affect things in my household. More groceries are going to be used, more food prepared, more electricity, more toilet paper. you know, so, you don't know. Whereas if you have just a little bit, it gives you that peace of mind to realize you can handle this. You can deal with it, You can take that deep breath and not panic, okay? So yeah, I mean, those are some of the reasons that I prepare, my goal is to have at least 6 months worth of shelf-stable food to feed my family. That includes 7 people, the people closest to me. That's my husband, that's the 3 of us that live here. That's me, Rocky, my mother, okay? It'd be my son and my granddaughter, my daughter, and my mother-in-law. That's 7 people that I want to know aren't going to go hungry. Okay? So, if you have watched this far, thank you. Remember, like, follow, subscribe, because on next week's episode, we are going to be talking about food storage. Why food storage? And different ways to store food. All right? So make sure you tune in, but you got to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so that you get notified when I post a new video. Again, I'm Laura. Thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.